listening to Power Producers Shop Talk, where we are refining and redefining the sales game by equipping you with the tools you need to differentiate yourself in the marketplace.
Well, it's like when we audit the mod with Logic and give them the action items that they're going to use to lower their total cost of risk.
Tactical skills that will help you provide deliverable value to your clients and prospects.
Technology is not an expense, it's an investment. Look at what Think HR has done for our clients and even our team. It's an amazing product, and I'm so thankful we have that.
And action items that you can provide to take your prospects and clients to the next level.
Things are changing for us in 2021. Not all big business anymore. Now that we have CoverWallet on our team, it's amazing that we're going to be able to write small business profitably.
This is Power Producer Shop Talk. Production redefined. Are you ready to feel the power?
What is going down, Power Producers Nation? Shop Talk Friday. Get a little frisky because I'm headed to Key West right after we're done. Last episode, we talked about what a marketing drop is, and I think we beat it to death. But let's talk a little bit about how to prepare for a marketing drop. I mean, I think there's some things that you should do every single time. You know, I can happily share mine. I'm interested in what your methodology is as well.
Okay. Yeah.
So let's talk about it. What do you do, man? I mean, I know you don't shave the beard. I mean, you probably oil it up and make it as glorious as possible.
I oil that shit up with some Squatch oil and
please tell me it's pine tree. Please tell me it's the pine
well,
tree.
so it is because they've only got like one, which is kind of annoying. No, it's not pine tar. It's like it's actually, it actually kind of does smell like that. I wish that they would, and I haven't been on there in a while, but I wish they would come out with more flavors. But anyhow, yeah, I mean, so I try not to overcomplicate things, but the first thing, this may seem like common sense, but you want to make sure that the places that you're going are in a reasonably close geographic area. Like, you don't want to be driving, 30 minutes in between places that you're dropping on just because they're good fits. Find a few good fits that are within, 10, 15 minutes of each other, and then do some research on businesses that are in that area as well that, even if they are a little bit outside of what you're going after, that you can go into, because you don't want to waste time, driving around all over town. Website is another obvious thing. Like, you're obviously going to go to this company's website and try to glean some things from there. One of the places on the website that I think sometimes gets overlooked is the about us, or like the the people, like who's working there. Like, if you can find some of these websites have really good ones. Like, it'll show a lot of charity stuff that they do, or different events that they've been to. Maybe it's got pictures of them at a baseball game, or just something else that you can talk about, when you go in there and say, hey, I noticed you guys just did this, just did a company 5K for so-and-so charity. How did you guys get involved in that? What, like, something that you can talk about and build rapport with, so that you're not just going in there and, like a used car salesman. So that aspect, I think, sometimes gets overlooked. I'll also go to Reference USA. They are relatively accurate in the information that they have. If you can get the business pulled up on there, you've got to have a library card, at least down here. I don't know what other sites there are in other states or how that works, but you can pull a lot of info off of there. You can pull employees, revenue, and some other things that can help you in your prospecting process. So Reference USA is good. And then the other thing that I do too that, maybe a little bit outside of the box is looking at like social for owners and CEOs and people who are typically decision makers. So if you can find that information, just like on, like I'll use Sunbiz because that's got a lot of the officer information on it, for us here in Florida, but I can look them up on LinkedIn, Facebook, whatever. And same sort of thing. I can find things to talk about with them, things that we may have in common. There's one that stood out to me that I remember. It was a plumber a year or two ago, and I was pulling up information. They had a bad mod. It was like 1.4 or 5 or something like that. And I was pulling up info on the owners, and I saw that they were involved with a some sort of like animal rescue. They founded like an animal rescue nonprofit or something like that. So, and for dogs, I've got a couple dogs. It was easy. It was an easy thing for us to discuss. And like, wow, nobody's ever asked me about that. You know, people just come in here. They want my business. They want to talk to me about how they're going to lower my insurance rates or sell me this or that or whatever. And I was able to go in and have a discussion with them about something that they were passionate about that had nothing to do with insurance.
Yeah, I think the other thing you could do is simply compliment them on their website. Like, let them know you've been on it. If their website's better than average, tell them their website's better than average. And then they're going to be like, all right, this guy's been to the website. Let's see where they go next. You know, for me, the key has always been to personalize the marketing drop as much as you can.
Yeah.
You know, you want to have this thing set up to where the people, when they read the marketing materials or whatever else, they subconsciously feel like they're already doing business with you, period. And so for me, you know, if you're using marketing slicks to go out and visit these people, it's as quick as a find and replace inside of Publisher to change the name of one company to the next, and literally takes less than 2 minutes to do it. Literally.
Yep.
But the impact that's there when you have the letter personalized to the decision maker, when you use their name, when you use their company name, when they read the actual marketing materials and their name and their company name is in the actual materials, people are going to be like, wow, you know, this person took it to a completely different level. But I think there's other things you can do, and specific to research, you know, I'm a big fan of having a reason, you know, what you're going to lead with and who, you know, why you're there. And to me, the more you can give them the reason, the better that visit's going to go. So that's why I'm always a big fan of knowing the experience mod, if it's an account that I plan on leading with comp, or if I'm going to go in and do something with cyber, using the vulnerability assessment from ProWriters to go in and lead with the cyber. You know,
so
I
just
can
do it ahead of time before you go in, have the vulnerability assessment already done, and be able to say, you know, here I did this complimentary vulnerability, you know, assessment for you.
It's not even that, man. And here's, by the way, here's some pricing indications and a coverage comparison to show you what you would be getting for your money, but most importantly, to show you it's really not that expensive to insure against cyber exposures. But the other thing is, too, man, with a lot of these cyber places now, these cyber carriers, if that vulnerability assessment's run and it's unfavorable or has like one or two critical things that need to be addressed, I've had Coalition jump on the phone with an insured, have their computer people or IT people tell them what they need to do to fix it and make it compliant. They do, and then they bind the policy for free. Like they don't charge anything for that. So, you know, I think there are a lot of resources there, but I like it because the other thing with ProWriters is that it's easy to personalize that experience. And what I like even more is if we're doing our job and we're preparing for our drops the week before and we know who we're going to go visit, or 2 weeks, I would probably do this 2 weeks in advance. But if you guys are doing 25, 30 drops 2 weeks in advance, you can export the list of the places you're going to go. You can email that over to them, and they'll upload it into their system. And before you go on your appointment, you will have received an email back from them with all of that information: vulnerability assessment, pricing indication, coverage comparison ahead of time. They'll do it for you, but you got to look, people, you got to write business with them. They're not just going to do it because you show up. So, but the way you do that is do it yourself for the first few of them, right? When you sign up with ProWriters, you get a unique link. and you go to that link, and you can answer the same basic questions in that link and just do it manually. So you could do it literally like the day before you go or a couple of days before you go if you're doing it on your end. But if you want to automate that process and not spend your time doing it, all they have to do is upload it in, and their system does the rest of the work, and automatically it'll email you, man. So I think, that's a huge one. And I think with the difference in the environment now after COVID with cyber, and we were already talking about why cyber was important, but now that there's a blended and remote workforce, the cyber exposures are much higher than they used to be. So to me, that's a big deal. So I think that, for me, it's A, personalizing the information, B, knowing what the mod is if I'm going in on the comp angle, C, going in and understanding the vulnerability assessment and the pricing considerations on the cyber piece. And I've at least got some points to talk from there. Now, if I'm going to go in and talk to them about workers' comp, maybe I go in and give them like a 10-step guide to implementing a return-to-work program along with
or just the benefits of it, or what it is and why it would have a positive impact. Because like we've talked about a million times on here, when we go and meet with people and we ask them about the return-to-work program, they're, we got one of those. And you're like, okay, so then you've got the letter, and then you run through all the things, and they're like, well, maybe we don't actually have something formalized. So even if it's something simple, just giving them hey, here's what a return to work program actually looks like. This is one that we did, for, just sub their name in. Be like, this is what it would look like for you, when we start, working with you and getting this cleaned up. I think that's an easy way, like you said, subconsciously to make them think that they're already working with you. They see your name, or they see our name, they see their name, on this piece of information. That's already half the battle.
Yeah, the other angle I like to take is I like to have a recommendation letter or a testimonial from one of the larger companies that I represent that's in their industry, so that I can get something saying I engaged with Florida Risk. They were able to come in and reduce our overall workers' compensation spend by X number of dollars through their process of implementing return to work, claims management, and proactive risk management education of our staff through their digital learning management system, blah, 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 blah. Put it in there. You have that on letterhead, and you have 2 or 3 of those even, and you can pop that in there and say, hey, we do represent some of the larger, large plumbing companies. We also represent some that are medium and some that are small. And my point is, we understand where you're at in your growth curve, and we understand what you're going to go through to get to where you will be if you reach this size. And we can help you do that much more profitably than you otherwise would, because we know what the pitfalls are. We know where you're going to end up getting in trouble and what policies and procedures you need to have in place in order to make it, work right. So, I think that you can literally create a marketing drop around any subject you want to create a marketing drop around, period. Doesn't matter what it is. It's just a matter of taking the time to think through it, think about who your audience is, learn about your audience, and then determine what the best angle is to go in with based off of that limited research that you do. I mean, that's pretty much it, man. I don't know what else I can add to it.
No, I agree. I mean, I think those are some pretty simple things that everybody can do. It just requires a little bit more effort on the front end and a little bit more thought. But I mean, those are all very basic things that are game changers for when you go and try to engage with a prospect.
Yep. Well, guess what? We could talk marketing drops all day, but we could also talk about them all night, all day tomorrow, and all week next week. If you're in the Power Producers Mastermind, you would be privy to that conversation, and you'd probably get some of the resources that we use when we're out on the streets doing this stuff. If you want to learn more, go to Killing Commercial.
You've been listening to Power Producers Shop Talk. You can follow us at the Power Producers Podcast on Facebook and Instagram. And if you want to take your game to the next level, check out our commercial insurance training course at killingcommercial.com or visit Amazon to pick up a copy of our international best-selling book, The Extra 2 Minutes.